In a bar, not far from where we are, a cheery scene ensues. Drinking, darts and dominoes, and catching up on news. Three wise men talk now and then, with the help of beer and wine, little dreaming how their evening will alter space and time.
How beautiful.
Could I have another one?
Oh,
What? Hell, man.
I wouldn't be a proper sound man if I didn't say that, would I?
fucking hell. 20 years. Where does it go? No, I think when Tim and I were talking about what we could do in Sammy's memory, I suggested a gig, because we could make some money and just give it away to people in Sammy's position, often in need of whatever, the cost of a set of strings for his bass guitar or whatever. So that was the initial idea. That was no more ambitious than that. Right, God help you, we're ready.
You know what, fellas, I would just say God help you as well, because I wish I was coming with you.
You'll be right behind us, I know.
I'll tell you what, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning at the prostate clinic. We did the first gig at the City Hall, and it was, it wasn't an extraordinary night. It was extraordinary. The reception we got, we couldn't get through the lines a lot of the time, it was pandemonium in the City Hall. The Lord's Prayer, 66 words.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Kids, lads, that's what you don't do with a
professional. I should be fired.
That's what you don't do with a
You fucking don't.
Right. There's always one.
It's my fault I didn't tell you not to bring your phone, Jeff, but I'll tell you next time. It just gets better and better and better. The thing is, what we've had to do with this is top it every year. You know, we have a certain sort of level of brilliance, and then the next one's got to be a bit better. And then the next one's got to be better. And every year, every 2 years, we've said, oh, that was the best one. And that's what we said after 2018. But we've got to make this one even better again.
Ah, like Florida, where you have to put the clocks back.
We have travelled here from the future.
Take your time, Jim.
All right,
Set your alarm clock for that one.
The best moments are when it all goes to pot.
Absolutely.
When it goes wrong, and we're all swimming against the tide. It's hilarious, and the audience goes with us. It's like the worst panto you've ever seen. It's correct.
Now, what are we going to do, man? What are we going to do?
Oh, shut up, man, shut up. Right, up to 50
Good continuity. No, that was needed.
That's twice in the morning.
You're off the set.
That's
now,
twice in
Jeff.
the morning. Jeff won for his fucking telephone. 50 years he's been in the business. That's
54 fucking years.
That's the second time it's run. A trainee would get the sack of him for that. It's great. We were just saying earlier in the rehearsal here, we've known each other for nearly 40 years through our vidas. We have the kind of friendship and camaraderie that even if you have not seen one another for years, countless years, when you get back together, it's like you saw somebody the day before. There's a fantastic, we have a shorthand now after all this time.
Hey, your bonus is a bit thin on the side there. I've always thought that. Here we go.
Timothy, you talking to me about hair?
That's not in the fucking script.
Timothy, you talking to me about hair?
It's a soft spot for each other.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many standout memories. And it's funny that we're now at the arena because the City Hall was so synonymous with Sunday for Sammy that we wondered how it was going to be in an arena, but it kept all the same atmosphere and just so many more people could see it. Because if I had £1 for everybody every year that goes, the tickets have just gone on sale and I've tried to get them and we cannot get even 2. I mean, it just sells out. One of the standouts for me was when Ant and Dec came off stage at Live Pop Idol, were kind of put in a, I don't know whether it was a helicopter or whatever, but they came up here, they literally stood backstage, people handed them a mic and they went, we haven't got a clue what we're doing, hello Newcastle, and they walked on and they didn't have a clue. But that's been the nature of Sunday for Sammy. You know, we don't get together till the Saturday, we get out there and we think, oh my God, is it funny, is this going to sound good? And we get the audience in and touch wood, it always goes like clockwork.
Today we've managed to get onto the arena stage for the first time to sound check the band. We've been rehearsing in another rehearsal room for about 3 or 4 days, trying to get these songs sorted. And today we managed to get all the gear onto the stage, sound checking. And Sunday at about 5 to 2, I'll start getting a few butterflies. But until then, you just got to keep at it, make sure you get it right. So try your best to get it right. There's always something goes wrong on the day, but because we don't rehearse for as long as most shows are rehearsed, a lot of it's off the cuff. You know, see what happens. I've loved it. I've done every one so far. This is the 20th anniversary, and yeah, I think I was only about 21 when I started. It feels like that. Everybody gets on with everybody else, you know, and we've all known each other, most of the people, for a long time. Once every 2 years, we get together for a couple of days, sometimes even for one day. Some of them can't get here till Sunday morning, so we have to have a quick rehearsal, very quick, and do it.
The first one I did was probably about 7 or 8 years ago now, and it just gets bigger and better each time, you know. Obviously I did the last one they did, which was the first one here at the arena, but I come in today, it's even bigger than last time. The lights and everything, the video screens, and from what I hear, the lineup's even better as well, so it's going to be great. It's a load of people who've, you know, had success in the industry and experienced great things and just want to come home and celebrate the homegrown talent that we have here, and obviously raising money for a new generation of talent as well. You know, there's nothing better.
We'll try to keep the spirit of it the same, because I think that's really important, because it's a very inclusive show. Myself and Billy teamed up with some other local musicians and created a little house band, and I've played drums on every show since then. And it's an old-fashioned variety show, really, but for our age group, you know, great songs, great contemporary songs, and lots of comedy. It's the comedy that people come for, really, to be honest with you. I love playing the music, but really they come for the comedy. Jimmy asked me if I would produce the show. So I thought about it for about 30 seconds and said yes. And here we are. All of a sudden, whoosh, it's become quite a mega project now.
I don't fancy it at the minute. It's massive, man. It's just such a massive show. And I'm not getting any younger. But I love it. I love it, man. Today is just really rehearsing. And rehearse the arse out of it until we can't rehearse anymore. And we always think to ourselves, we're going to rehearse every number, every sketch, every stand-up. Does it ever happen? Fucking never. So we go on until we've got to stop rehearsing. And we never rehearse the whole show. Never gets done, ever. So you still fly by the seat of your arse when you get in the gallery. But as soon as that red light goes on, it's showtime, and there's no blood in that gallery, it's just pure adrenaline. It's great. Jimmy's ballad, Big River, He's got a voice of an angel. He's absolute voice of an angel. And he's also easy to work with. He likes it his way. But you know what? He's one of these really, really frustrating people that sometimes I dislike intensely because he's right most all of the time.
Okay, off you go. That's fine.
Some have got bigger heads than others.
And for now, wherever's comfortable.
Just stick it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Thank you, darling.
James, have you seen wardrobe?
You what, bud?
Have you done wardrobe?
I've been told
yes,
to do
pretty
after.
much.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got trousers and that I'm bringing, but pretty much so I can just easily sell
It just
them
keeps me out of trouble in wardrobe.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good to see you. How's everything?
Good. Better.
Yeah,
Good. Thank you.
Hi, darling. How are you? Have you been to see wardrobe?
I only did my first one 2 years ago. And I've been in the backstage and stuff like that for years, from being quite young. And then Jeff finally said to me, how come you never do it? And I said, well, you never asked us. He said, well, you never asked to do it. And I said, well, aye, because you never asked us. It's amazing. And you get to see just loads of faces that you've known for years, all hanging about and being daft. It's great. So we got a sketch about George Stephenson and his famous rocket. And it all gets a little bit mixed up within the time zone. So you've got the Czechis who work on the metro who've come from the future back to the past. I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it? Makes no sense, but it's great.
There's a second one after this, so I didn't know whether the second one should be bigger than, or do you just want them large?
It's large.
Okay.
There's 7,000 people.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, not a problem.
Really good.
Not a problem. Yeah, probably.
It is one of the most brilliant things to be a part of, and it's the one thing that makes me feel really proud of being Alderman. I love it, absolutely love it. And it's just great to think that it offers so many young people opportunities as well. Because I know growing up for me as an actor in the North East, it was really hard to get that kind of support. So having all that behind it is just brilliant.
If you run it that way, then just keep it in. Instead of change it.
Yeah.
It could be my delivery because I'm shy.
No. I'll do my best.
Is it all of us?
In 2001, I got a grant from Sunday for Sammy to help me because I wanted to get into comedy and performing, and they bought me some lights and a PA equipment, and then Tim and Jimmy and Kevin, everyone said, why don't you do a sketch at the City Hall? So we did a sketch at the City Hall, and it was while I was on stage at the City Hall that I decided I would throw my life away and quit my job and sell my house and do this. So it started. Sunday for Sammy started being in show business.
I am a boatman. I have been riding this ferry since the beginning of time itself, in the dark.
It's absolutely crazy. We're going to play to nearly 15,000 people. Incredible Names will just do one song. It's the Geordie Royal Command performance, isn't it? Everyone wants to play it. You've got such incredible people coming in and they'll do 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Like I think Johnny Vegas is down for 2 minutes. He'll do about half an hour.
I don't know what Johnny's going to do. It will be a while. It will be. It will be. If you can send those sandwiches.
The memories are hazy. Like 6 years ago, I think I've been on the board when they approached us. So I joined and I love it. Get to do the auditions, give the people grants, just like I was given it, and then to do the show as well. And now I do more and more on the show to the point where it's given us a small panic attack.
My name's Emma Lucia and I'm a recipient. I came to Sunday for Sammy about 5 years ago because I was at drama school in London and it's quite expensive down there. And so I just kind of explained what I was doing and how I'd really love their help if possible. And they were amazing. And genuinely, thanks to them, I managed to finish my course because I wouldn't have been able to without them. I did a show called Beautiful, which is the music of Carole King. So we're going to do a Carole King song with Peter on violin, and it's just a couple. There's a few of us recipients, so it's going to be a nice special number. It's such an amazing thing to be a part of, and to be able to be involved in raising money for the next load of, you know, creatives. So it's really special.
Here you will see every screen of every cameraman. So we punch up Dave. Dave goes on transmission. We then punch up Simon, 3, and that's Simon on transmission. And so we just punch around until we get it into a beautiful shape. So we do it live. It takes some getting. It's difficult to do, but we've been doing it for a long time, so we're pretty good at it. Well, we're really more than good at it. Then once we've done this side of it, and the show's over, we take all the footage from all the cameras back with us to the edit suite, where we cut it together, and where we can fix mistakes that we've done. Hopefully not that many, but in the main, it's the flower, you know, it's a slow-mo, freeze frame, but obviously we have to get the very best out of them here, and then it is a process of elimination when we get back there. And the more work you do in here, the less I have to do when I get back to the post-production suite. We do it at a high level. And of course, when you've got bands on, you see all these cameras here, they've all got to be cut the same style as the music. The quicker the music goes, the more broken finger he gets. It's a beautiful job, man. It's covering in a way that it deserves to be covered. And the visuals should never take away from the content. It should only enhance the content. But we've got a fantastic band here, great musicians, great artists, great singers, and we'll have a ball. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, it's like, you know, because of course I was born in Durham, and I lived in Durham until I was 16. All my relatives came from Hetton, so I was a sucker when they asked me, you know what I mean? Because you get out of the loop a bit. It's nice to come up and see the old place again. Not that I don't. I was up a couple of months ago cycling around some of the old railway lines. A couple of years ago they asked me to do it. I did Video Killed the Radio Star. They asked me to do it again. This time I'm doing Under a Lonely Heart. It's a fun gig. I mean, really all I have to do is sing one song, but some of these actors, man, they've been going for days to get this together. And to actually do it live in front of a crowd, it takes balls, so I take my hat off to them. I still remember one of the sketches from 2 years ago where they thought the guy was dead, and somebody went up to him and shouted, "Greg's is open" in his ear, and he leapt up. I just never forget that. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Who knew the hotel had a nightclub underneath? Where they served vodka in ceramic bottles and everyone was twerking. I was kind of out my depth, but you know, you just go with it. I first got into it, dead simply was working with Tim. And he went, "I suppose you'd be up for it." And I'm like, any excuse to come to Newcastle and genuinely hang out with the guy. I mean, things have changed. He knows me better now and he avoids me.
Be careful, got some new staff starting today as well.
Stand by for Johnny Vegas.
Oh, Johnny, get in soon.
So I'm out with Jason and Rosie. I saw I'm one of the security guards, if that's not self-evident. If you don't know that, I just look like a man whose life hasn't quite gone to plan. And that's no offence to anyone who works in security, but I do have that haunting look in my eyes of, she won't stay at her mother's forever, she is coming back.
Yeah, mate. What the fuck's gonna happen?
I know, within the history of this production, that 2 years ago when I was here, some people thought I perhaps took on more ale than was necessary. As a comic, you go out and there's a massive room having a, you know... I mean, I've been quite tame in the first half. Second half, I'm going for it.
We can't be standing here, back to what was originally written down, which I optimistically thought you would stick to, but I'm a fool.
Yes, but then you did say, oh, you were quite tame in the first one, so I thought, fuck it, go for it. First time I did it, genuinely, my pants fell down. I was not that desperate for laughs. They put me in a sketch with a lot of straight actors, and I'm one to ad-lib. I might have frustrated them a little. Look at that! I look like I've been sacked. I look like I've been sacked from a funeral directors. You drop one more coffin and you're out.
Find the next line. I'm going to try the next line.
Okay, go on. Go on.
You ready?
Please. I'd pushed everyone to a point where I went, I've got an idea for a few rewrites, and one of them went, just do the lines! And you go, all right. I see hearts. I see hands. Touching hands.
Oh, dear.
On the script.
It's a good dude.
Vaguely.
Can we all reach out? I always end the show with people going, it's not all about you.
Now's not the time, Johnny.
Look, I just want someone to show my kids to go. There are people in the world who like me. Well, that used to being run down or being told what we're not good at, and we don't remind ourselves what we are good at. And when you can fill a room like this and have the kind of crack you have, it bizarrely feels like you're catching up with mates, even if you've never met them.
I worked for 4 years with Sammy on a cop show called Spender. I had a great time because we were buddies. I knew Sammy from before we did the show, but we got very close on that show. And then I did another couple of series called Crocodile Shoes, and Sammy was in that. And then at the end of the 90s, you know, when he passed away, Tim Healy and I sat down. Tim was actually closer to Sammy than I was, very, very old friends. And Tim and I wanted to try and do something in Sammy's memory. So I said, well, why don't I organise a concert at Newcastle City Hall, and we'll just give the proceeds away to people in the arts who, like Sammy, were often struggling for just little things, but you need them. So that's what we planned to do, and that's how the first concert came about. There are people involved today and tonight being recipients of grants. So that's fantastic. If you can give somebody a leg up, which was always the idea. And years later, something comes to fruition and they're quite happy to give a bit of payback. You know, that's a really satisfying thing. It's really lovely. Bearing in mind, we only expected to do one show 20 years ago. I mean, goodness knows. I think we need a bit of new blood, though. It's time for, I think, the next generation need to come up and get a hold of it, because we're almost on our knees with it.
But they don't mean Thank you, guys! Oh, look, that's great, this. That's fucking great. Right. Cut.
Okay, cut. Stop recording, please. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you, my lover. Thank you, Chris. Cheers, mate. Fucking hell, man. What a fucking show, eh? Oh, well done, my darling. Excellent work.
We got away with it again.
We got away with another one.